Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Well, look, it is my distinct pleasure to bring to you the Falcon Inn. Last week on Wednesday, I came on and I did a little special during lunch, and I talked about a couple of things. But one of the great things that I talked about was highlighting uh, outstanding performance and highlighting the good that is inside of our organization. And the very first story that I get to bring to y'all is about the Falcon Inn. So I'm gonna brag on them a little bit before I bring them out. But um, the very first time that I walked into the Falcon restaurant, because it's not a dining facility, it's a restaurant, because of the quality of work that they do, the quality of food that they produce, in a way that they create an experience. That is why I wanted to bring them to y'all so that they could talk about what they did to achieve that. Now, I did a video when I was there, and that video will be available tomorrow. I'll put it out so that everybody can see the interview and everything. But we just wanted to talk with these leaders and highlight some of the things that they're doing and, what's great about it. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring them out and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, and we're going to get into a conversation. And family, the conversation tonight is not going to be that long. It'll be between 20 and 30 minutes to stay respectful of your time. And without further ado, let me go ahead and bring them out. What's going on, team? How are we doing?
All right, how are you?
Fantastic, fantastic. Could I get y'all to go ahead and introduce yourselves to the audience?
Hey, how you doing? My name is Son First Class Lopez. I am the I'm the acting senior culinary manager in NCO.
Hey, I'm Son First Class Corey Walker. I'm the defect manager.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Tom First Class Radley. I'm the assistant manager at the Falcon Inn Restaurant.
Okay, so like I was saying before, one of the main things that I wanted to get y'all to explain to everybody was the Army's transition away from defects to this more restaurant theme. Could y'all explain that to us, and and also talk about your Warrior Cafe concept as well?
Okay, so for the most part, the Army is just trying to transition to the everyday living style or the comfort of living. As in, when people go to different restaurants, they already know what to expect there. They already know exactly what they want to eat based off of that menu. And so, what we're trying to do is implement that same thing, implement uh, that same type of branding. Okay, what's gonna drive the soldiers or civilians or whoever to come in to eat at the defect or the Warrior restaurant, we should say. What'll drive these people to come in and see the options that we have and also save a little bit of money as well. So we're just trying to branch out just as well as the Army is and try to provide that same type of meal.
So this wasn't something that y'all just picked up. Y'all actually went out and did research. Like y'all went to local restaurants and stuff to like see what were some of the things that they were doing that made them successful. Like y'all actually went out and did some research and marketing. Would y'all mind talking about that?
So we go ahead and we look at the trends that are now in the culinary field, and one of the biggest trends in the culinary field is more vegetarian, vegan, more into that style, but also still giving you your typical protein, your typical you know restaurant type of environment that we're trying to implement now in dining areas and now consider restaurants, water restaurants, and that's what we're trying to do more. That's one of the trends was that, and that's one of the things that we looked at, and we said we need to bring more of that. The Army also has the Go for Green program, where we're trying to feed warriors like champions. We're trying to feed them paratroopers. We're trying to feed them to give them the right amount of calories for them to be able to perform better. So we not only that, but also we bring the other concepts of other stuff too, like your salads, your chicken sandwiches, stuff that maybe that day the soldier might not want to feel like eating, your that high performance meal.
Okay, so it sounds like y'all aren't just taking a. Hey, gentlemen, do me a favor. And while we're having the conversation, if you wouldn't mind muting mics, so we can cut out the background, and we can just unmute them as we start talking. So what it sounds like to me is that y'all aren't taking a big box solution and throwing it at a problem. Y'all are actually individualizing the needs of each individual warrior to ensure that they're able to perform. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely. Like that's the main goal, and that's the guideline that was given to us, and that we're trying to push out and implement daily.
And so when I was actually in the defect, when we were doing the interview, I saw that y'all had calorie count cards, and I know a lot of people are going to say like, "Oh, this isn't anything new," because back in the day we had the food pyramids. But what I liked about what y'all had was you had the actual calorie cards with how many calories per serving it was, so that each one of those individuals, like utilizing the H2F program that we have right now, are able to actually go in, look at how many calories they need, and then they can get the specified amount of calories to fuel themselves to move towards this whole H2F initiative we have going on.
Absolutely. So basically, that's what we're going towards. Like you just said, even down to the sodium count, or how much sugars and fats that's in there. So it's not just counting calories. It's the overall soldier concept of just trying to breed and produce that soldier or that paratrooper that the army is going towards. So it's like some people are counting calories, but some people are taking the total amount of food or what type of food that they're putting in their body. So we're just giving a more accurate count day to day.
So not only are they allowed to count the calories, they're allowed to count macros as well. So because it has like the individual blocks of sodium, so on and so forth. Um, Son Riley, are you would you weigh in on that?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that, Masson?
Yeah, talking about like you're actually, so what we've actually done is given the soldier the ability to count macros and calories.
Yeah, Roger Masson. That's what the calorie cards are for. Basically, so if a soldier is trying to, lose weight, if a soldier's on the ABC program, basically they could come in and look at the calorie cards and view them to see how much of a calorie intake, basically, they're trying to weigh in as far as losing weight.
So and actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put credit where credit is due. So in the past, we've often put the cart before the horse by going ahead and trying to get people to lose weight and do certain things, but we're giving them the information to arm them with the information before they get to that point now, and they can put this tool in their proverbial tool bag. All right, so with that, let's talk about the discipline. Another thing that I was blown away by when I walked into the actual dining facility, well, the restaurant, was that it looked like a restaurant. It didn't look like your typical dining facility. When you walk in, it doesn't remind you of like a high school cafeteria. It reminds you of an actual restaurant. From the way that the food is laid out to the calorie cards, to our paratroopers out there with their cook whites on, with the patches and everything on. So the way that Sergeant Walker is dressed right now is the same way that every one of our professionals in the defect, that's how they're dressed. Just like that. They got their patches on, name tag, rank. They look really professional. Everyone has a haircut, and that discipline is there. So let's get into this discipline conversation. Like, discipline is a hot topic, and we keep revisiting it. But would y'all mind allowing us to see behind the curtain and talk to us about that discipline piece? Like, what is it about discipline? Like, how are y'all getting after keeping that discipline inside of our restaurant for the Warrior Cafe?
To
So,
be honest, Master Son, it's all about NCO presence. It's all about motivating the soldiers, uh, instructing them with the game plan or our expectations of what we think standards and discipline is. And when you give them that, when you tell them the expectation that you have for them, you're actually providing that example. So as far as having NCOs, you have some first classes in the defect with them in the morning. When they get there, you already have a some first class, a staff sergeant, a sergeant there to greet them, ready to get the day started. Not soldiers soldiering up soldiers, but you actually have leadership presence.
Leadership presence. Okay, um, so it's not a do as I say environment. It's a do as I do environment. So those leaders are actually there. So we're talking about engagement right now. So could you talk to me about your cook mount? Because this is something that I believe we used to do a lot back in the day, and y'all are still doing it. So could you talk to us about the cook mount, and how does that impact the level of effectiveness of our cafe?
So every morning when they come in, that is the first thing they do. Everybody falls in, and we check uniforms. We check, now during the COVID time, we check temperatures. We make sure no one's sick. That's when people go ahead and they let us know if they're not feeling well. That's a big important factor. Uh, and then we check uniforms from top to bottom. We do an open ranks formation, and we check every soldier like you would do on a day-to-day basis, and when you do an open ranks formation and checking uniforms. And uh, depending on the personnel, we try to reward these soldiers that are squared away. And it's almost like when you take pride in what you do, it's like you want to look good at what you're doing, and the uniform is the beginning of it all. That's what gets it started. I know Son Radley is always there, in the morning, and always trying to motivate these soldiers. He can tell you a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, so Cook's Mount, that's like our first formation of the day. Basically, that's how we get accountability to our soldiers and make sure that, they're in the right place, in the right time, in the right uniform. And basically, just like Son Lopez said, if a soldier comes to formation or Cook's Mount squared away, basically, that's how we reward them as far as giving them time off, as far as, doing the right thing. So Cook's Mount is basically where it all starts for us in the dive facility. First thing in the morning at the DPAC. Or the
All right, so
restaurant, I should say.
I'm gonna throw a hard question at y'all, but I know y'all can handle it. Um, how do you keep the cook mount from becoming just a routine check the block type deal? And with that being said, what do you do? Like, how do y'all communicate to your paratroopers that we care about you and this is why we're doing it? It's not so that we can single you out or make you look bad, but we do this because we care about you, and these are the things that we need to do to be successful.
I would say basically it's a part of our job. It's mandatory. It's not option. It's basically a check the box. It's something we have to do as 92 Golfs, to make us successful, because nobody wants to eat from a restaurant where there's dirty cooks that has dirty fingernails, or dirty hair or dirty uniforms. So it's basically a check the box for us. It's mandatory. Something that we have to facilitate as 92 Golfs. And that's on.
So this is something that you basically teach them to take pride in because it's a part of y'all stewarding of your profession. That's
Correct.
basically what this is. Okay,
So
go ahead, Son
correct,
Walker. Go ahead and
correct, my son. So it's pretty much how we implement pride and how we uh allow them to be proud of that product. So a lot of the times how we break that cycle is, okay, when that soldier have an idea or something that they want to add, because soldiers are the future leaders. So we don't know everything. Sometimes we can be the dinosaurs. So when those soldiers come in with creative ideas or different things they want to try, we try our best to implement it. But we also put their name on that product. We also give them that visibility. So when you give them that visibility and you let them know, hey, private so and so, specialist such and such made that. Now their name is into their chain of command, and now their chain of command know who they are. And soldiers wonder why they're winning boards and soldier of the quarter and cook of the quarter board, or how does this soldier knows that some major? And it's like you're promoting yourself, but while promoting the warrior restaurant, you're promoting those soldiers, and that give them a sense of pride, a sense of honor. So it's like, okay, I got to make sure my uniform squared away, because I don't know who's gonna show up today and who's gonna recommend me for this or recommend me for that. So we're actually not just about us enforcing them to do something, but actually pushing them out there and seeing how and what they're gonna encounter and deal with in the future as well.
so what I'm hearing is that the best idea is more important than the person who came up with it, and that is how we move forward with innovation in the Falcon Inn.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm telling you right now, I probably wouldn't even be able to get on this network if one of the soldiers wouldn't help me. So it's like, okay, social media and all this what's they call it?
Technology.
Technology and everything. Like the soldiers, that's at their fingertips. But then now we're crossing over, we're utilizing that. So we can push the right information, or we can do certain things to get their attention, but they're already young, so they already know exactly what will bring them soldiers in. So we try to cater to that to a T, but still show them what standards and discipline is, of following tradition. But now you have a sense of pride.
Okay, all right. So we got a question here from Troop Fuel. All right, who wanna tackle that one? How important is it to offer nutritious options daily on a consistent basis to your customers? Do 92 Golf serving the food advise customers on how to build an athletic plate based on the menu provided to meet individual nutritious nutrition goals? Yeah, that sounds like a certain Lopez question right there. I
That
don't
that
know.
is a very excellent question. So we actually give classes quarterly to the soldiers on what are the different plates and in different ways to be able to give them a balanced meal depending on their goals. That is one of the things that we do on a quarterly basis with the soldiers. We go through a slideshow on nutrition, and that's one of the that's an excellent question. That sounds like a nutritionist question, but I like it. So that's where that comes from, and we go ahead and we give them this class, and then we let them be aware. And at the end of this class, we have them participate in a kind of an event where they tell us, okay, so tell me now what can I do if I want to have a full balanced meal, and they tell us like, okay, how much starches, how much vegetables, and how much protein will go on a full balanced meal.
All right, so y'all are getting ready for a competition right now, if I recall. Could y'all fill us in on this and tell us what that's all about? Sir Rally?
So we getting ready to compete for the installation Philip A. Conley. Basically, it's a competition. It's a competition about Philip A. Conley, who was basically make a way for us at 92 Golf to be able to do things outside of our MOS. And it's like basically for 92 Golfs, basically if you want to compete, your non-facility will basically enter the competition. And basically, there's 3 levels as far as installation, which we're competing at our first level for Fort Bragg is the best dining facility. Then if we win at our installation level, we'll then compete at our region. And if we win at our region, we'll then compete for the DA Philip A. Conley Department of the Army as far as the best dining facility in the whole United States Army. So it's basically a competition that us as 92 Golf we take pride in, and basically it's bragging rights for us to be able to say that we are the best dining facility, not just on the installation, but in the whole United States Army.
So I'm gonna just ask you. I'm gonna ask you one thing. Take out all of the ifs and say win
Exactly,
instead of
Master Son.
take take
Exactly.
out take out all the ifs and say win. All right. I mean
Exactly.
when y'all do that. Okay, that's
Roger,
awesome. All right. And I'm just saying because I guess I'm kind of biased here. Okay. Full disclosure, this is these are my people in my brigade, but I have a very unbiased opinion about uh what I saw, what I get on a daily basis from walking inside of this defect. And I know now I got to go to other defects because it was like, oh, you biased. No, I'm gonna start going to other defects and seeing what they got going on over there. But you know, in 17 years, this is the best dining facility that I have stepped foot in. Well, restaurant. All right, this is the best Warrior Cafe that I have stepped foot in, and that's where I'm coming from with that. Anybody else want to weigh in on the competition before we transition to our last question?
What I did wanted to say was that to us, that is like trying to go to the Super Bowl for a football player. That is our biggest challenge. Is we want to be the best at that, and that when we compete in that, a lot of us that take pride and passion in what we do, we try to give it all we can. When we get evaluated for that competition.
Hold on. Alex, that's a hard yes. That is a hard yes.
I agree.
All right. Hey, come on down. Come on down and take a visit. But like I said, I will be visiting the other dining facilities. We are trying to highlight things that are going great inside of our organizations because there's enough stuff that's everywhere. Let's highlight some goodness. And I'm gonna say something that everybody's gonna hate. This is hunting the good stuff in real life. It is very difficult to find things that are great because this it's so easy to find things that are wrong. So if we practice finding things that are great, we can balance that out and things don't seem so grim. That is the true power of hunting the good stuff. All right. So, all right, let's go ahead and Alex, come on down, man. We'll go over to the defect, my brother, and we'll get some chow, and you can test it for yourself, and then you can do your video about how great this defect is. But well, dining Warrior Cafe is. Go ahead, my brother.
Absolutely, man, son, and I'm glad you brought that up too because it's not just the Falcon Inn or just this Warrior restaurant. It's the other restaurants as well on the installation. It's the dietitian, it's the nutritionist coaches. It's like just don't be afraid to get that advice or get that information from different key leaders. So I like what you're doing with this podcast and how you bringing out that information because we sit down and do the same thing every monthly and just briefly speak on what Son Lopez was saying. That's like those defect council meetings, going in there, engaging those young paratroopers on what they're eating and why we're feeding them that. And then not only talking to them, but getting ideas and different things from the dietitian and the nutritionist coaches. So why these guys on special pops and why this type of soldier need this type of meal or that type of soldier need that type of meal. I think we should get away from this is the standard because you have all different types of body types and athletic abilities and different protocols that you're doing. Everybody not gonna be a ranger. Everybody not gonna be special forces. But when you're a paratrooper and you jumping in the 82nd, you got to be ready. So that's what we're shooting for. The overall concept, fueling soldiers like champions. So I do want to commend you as well for this broadcast and actually putting this out there like that. And I don't know who that was with that question, but that was a great question. And most definitely come to those soldiers council meetings and entertain us, man. Get our ideas going because you never know who has those ideas. You never know what paratrooper just hit you with that idea that can change the whole Warrior restaurant. So, but thank
So
you again, my
this
son.
no, you good. This concept isn't a. I want to be very clear about this because I don't want to alienate anyone. This isn't an airborne concept. This is a army concept, and this is the concept that the army is pushing for
Absolutely.
everyone. All right, so we just want to be very clear about that. We don't want to alienate anybody. Troop Fuel has another question, and we're gonna get ready to wrap it up. So, what are y'all doing to get after getting soldiers back into the defect post COVID?
Also, oh my goodness, that's another great question. I don't know who this is, but they got some excellent questions. I love this energy. Give me the energy. I love it. So what we're doing is we're doing special meals. We're going around with these soldiers, asking them what do they want to see implemented in the defect. We're doing right now, come June 1st, we're doing meal preps. I'm still trying to get savvy with the computers and technology. What about the menus on what we're gonna have for the next week or so, and actually stick with it and take a picture where the soldiers can see, okay, this is the meal that they're gonna have on this day. I can come in and I can get this to go plate at whatever time from 8 to 1500 or whatever. But it's pretty much talking to those soldiers, trying to see exactly what they're gonna do or what they need or what they want to see the defect provide for them while still maintaining their healthy option, while still maintaining fueling soldiers like champion.
All right. Well, hey, look, I have a treat for y'all. All right. So I have someone backstage. You know, this is the creator of NCOPD Live. 6 years running, 7 years strong, and he said, he actually had some time to come in and talk to everybody real quick. And he said he would drop in, and it looks like he just dropped in the studio. So we're gonna go ahead and bring him out. My brother, like no other, TPSGL.
Oz, what's going on, man?
What's going on, my brother? Hey,
Not much.
thank you for coming in here, man. Like, I know
Yeah,
if people want to
I'm
talk
glad
to
you
you.
told me on Saturday. I'm glad you told me because
Yeah,
it's good,
I
man.
dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah. Hey, listen. So first of all, I want to thank you, Oz, for putting this show on because I'll be honest with you, we don't highlight defects, and so some of the things I was listening to that these great leaders were talking about is like far as calorie cards and everything being in the DFAC, being available to soldiers. I've never seen that when I was a young soldier back at the DFAC, back at Fort Hood. And we all know once you make certain rank, you just stop going to the DFAC, you go off post. But I think that this is a great initiative of what they're pushing, as far as like having this readily available for soldiers when they come into DFAC to be able to, make sure that they count their calories and able to see how much intake that they need to take. This is a great initiative. So I definitely want to commend you first, Oz, for jumping out there and going to see this DFAC. And I've already feel like you're somewhat biased because you've already deemed them the #1 DFAC on Bragg. I'm just going to throw you out there. So in personal conversation that he and I had, this is like the best thing since sliced bread. So I don't know if I'm going to be taking any courses in the future on Bragg, but if I am, I'm going to be coming to second BCT down the facility. So Big Sarge, I want to say kudos to what you and your team is down there doing. I think it's great. I will tell you this, Oz, you're going to have to go and see some other defects because now they're going to want to see. And once you get to see all of them, hey, let's bring them all into a collaboration and you never know. And maybe we can give out an award for the best DFAC from the NCOPD Live team. But great show, great dialogue that was put out. I learned some things tonight, even though I'm nowhere near an installation. But if I'm ever on Fort Hood or Fort Polk, I'm gonna be looking like, hey man, why you ain't got no captain card out here? Like, get like the center of the universe. So, but kudos to y'all, son. I appreciate y'all taking time to come out and be on Let's Talk About It tonight. Great show.
Thanks, my brother.
All right, man.
All right, bro. So, hey, let's go ahead and I'm gonna give y'all time. I would like y'all to give some parting shots. Maybe you got some shout outs or something you want to throw out there, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Like you said, thanks again, Masson. We really do appreciate that, Masson Green. We would like to shout out to everybody that came in on the live. Hopefully, everybody got some great information. They was educated. And like you said, I wish you would go around and look at those other different defects. Maybe we could start a friendly competition. I mean, we never know what can happen. But at the end of the day, I feel like if we bring back that competitiveness and that rivalry, the only people that is going to fit are those soldiers and those future paratroopers all over the Army. And that's one step at a time. We're looking towards greatness.
Sir Lopez?
I just wanted to thank you as well, Masson. I appreciate it for having us on the show. I want to thank all the support that we've gotten throughout, the time that we've been here, from division all the way down. We get a lot of people that try to help us better our restaurant. But yeah, so I just want to thank you for having us on this show. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you, Sir Rally.
Yes, hey, Masson. I also want to thank you for inviting us on this. It's been a pleasure. Definitely learned some new things, and definitely grateful for you putting us out there as far as, coming in the DFAC, giving us praise for, all the great things we do here in the dining facility. Also, one thing I wanted to say a while back when you was talking about standards and disciplines, the reason why I'm a firm believer why we have, standards and disciplines in the dining facility is because, basically it starts at the top with the manager. I've been here ever since the dining facility opened, and I have not yet seen not one manager enforce the standards and disciplines that you see, here that we have today in the dining facility. When Son Lopez was the manager, being the ex-drill sergeant, you know, he's big on standards and disciplines. Son Walker, he's big on standards and disciplines. Basically, every dime facility manager basically forces standards and disciplines as far as, you know, what you see before you hit here today in this Warrior restaurant. So I just want to greatly thank you and appreciate you for inviting us on.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and say a few things, and then we'll wrap it up. So there we go. So first off, I want to thank Falcon Inn for coming on today, and I want to thank y'all for allowing me to tell your story. I really appreciate that. Look, I love some friendly banter. Matt Welk, hey, just shoot me a message, and I'll come down and we can take a look. But I'm definitely going to start going to other defects, and I want to see what y'all got. And this isn't about making anybody look bad. This is about good stories. That's what this is about. This is about good stories. And when I finish with the defects, I'm gonna start hitting motor pools, and then I'll start hitting aid stations. You know, once we get around, I want to bring good stories to people because, like I said, we have enough other things going on and enough people focusing on that stuff. So I want to focus on some positive things and highlight some people that are doing great things. And for the discipline piece, so I'm a strong believer in discipline and the importance of discipline. A lot of times, you know, we don't look at discipline for what it is. Discipline is a mechanism that allows us to live life easier. When you can learn to do something without thinking about it, then you can put attention to something else. That's discipline. That is discipline. When you, for example, like when people go on leave, like us old timers, when we go on leave, we don't even put our hands in our pockets in our civilian clothes because we don't want to create a bad habit that we're gonna have to break when we come back to work. That is the essence of discipline. We learn these things and they become automated habits and things like that. Habits, you know, a habit is just something that our brain creates to deal with a problem in our environment. So, in doing so, we free up space in our brains so that we can do other things and pay attention to other things without having to pay close attention to those very small, minute things. That is discipline. It gives you leverage, it gives you power to do other things, and it makes you more effective. And that is the true power of discipline. That's what a battle drill was all about. It was about repetitions. You do it enough times, you create automation. Now you no longer have to put attention towards that. With that being said, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Look, you're important. You matter. Don't let anybody make you feel as if you're insignificant. If you do, get to the inbox, and there's people here to help you. The NCOPD Live team is here to help you. Thrive Legion is here to help you. Coming to a theater near you. Hey, look, she coming. Trust me, she coming. All right, let's talk about it. Is here to help you. All right, we're all here to help you in this journey we like to call life. And as I say always, life is a choice. I'm depending on you to choose well. Oz here signing out. I will be talking to you soon.